Tuesday, YouTube. I wanted to get on here today and talk to all of you guys about my thoughts about building an agency. When is the right time to start recruiting, training, and building that agency for final expense? At what point in time do you do it? You see a lot of agents that get their license and they're already building. They already got maybe 20, 30 agents. But for myself, I would highly discourage you from going down that path of building your agency if you yourself haven't produced. If you yourself haven't gone out there over the phone, knocked on the doors, and produced not 1 month, not 2 months, but at least 6 months, where you're producing every single week and month, at least for the first 6 months, before you even start going down that path. This is why. It takes energy. It takes time to train an agent. It just does. This morning, I spent 2 hours on the phone with an agent, showing them how to sell, how to close. And that takes time away from my personal production, which is a sacrifice. But if you don't understand it in that manner, you're going to crash and burn. Because remember this, when you bring on a new agent, you co-sign. You co-sign so they can get advances. So imagine this. They get advances based on the limited training that you did, and then within a month, they're gone, and they leave you with that balance to pay, because at the end of the day, you co-signed. It can get out of control real fast if you hired the wrong people, and second of all, you cannot afford to train them. When I first started in my career in 2004, it took me roughly like 2 years before I even contemplated hiring agents and building my agency. It took about 2 years. And the only reason I came across it was because friends, family would reach out to me and ask what I was doing, and I would share with them what I was doing, and that's how I got into the business. But I remember sitting down with my mentor, Ray, and, I was talking to him about my, dilemma with people hitting me up, wanting to come and work with us. And I did not know at the time that I can build an agency or, any of that. I really didn't understand it. For the first couple of years, all I did was put my head down, knock on doors like a crazy man, and I sold a ton of insurance just as a personal producer. But in this particular meeting that I had with Ray, he basically told me the following. He says, can you afford it? Can you really afford to start building an agency group with your current circumstance? Again, I was having success, driving a nice car, but he really pushed that in my thinking. And I asked him, what do you mean? Well, when you start recruiting, you're going to sacrifice your personal production, your personal time to help somebody else out. Or if you don't, then it's going to be sacrifice from your family's time. Can you afford that? And he really got me thinking. I was like, well, I don't know. And he said, how much money a month do you need to cover all your bills, and you're okay? How much? And at the time, I would say my monthly expenditures were $8,000 to $10,000, maybe $12,000. So then he tells me, does your current residual check or my renewals, my pay through, was it enough to cover my household expenditures? For me at the time, I was in that position, and he gave me the blessing to start building my agency. Think about that. His advice before I got into the agency building was to make sure that my family and household bills were covered comfortably off my residual component. Think of that. Just off residuals. And I think that's a really good piece of advice for all of you. You know, if you're looking at building yourself an agency, are you the best teacher? Are you producing to show them? And then second of all, can you afford to take off those hours to focus on somebody else to make money? That's what it comes down to, affordability. Because what you'll find out today with a lot of agents, I'm not a big fan of agents because a lot of them say they're going to do something and they do the opposite. They're going to show up for work and they don't show up. So it can be challenging if you put your faith in the wrong agent and invest your energy only for that agent to leave you indebted with chargebacks and roll up, and then they're off to another agency and they're going to do the same thing. Very, very rarely do you see the gurus talking about roll-up debts, about the bad side of hiring the wrong agents. I had an agent out of Chicago that was rolling business. And by the time we caught that she was rolling business from another carrier to Senior Life, she had racked up like $30,000 in debt. And guess who had to pay for it? Me. Worst part about it was that, chasing her down to collect was a challenge. And we ended up writing off that loss. That was $30,000. And over the years, I've had to eat certain debts from agents, again, that cost me money. So what good is it if you got this big-ass team and they're writing apps, but you're not spending the time training them, showing them how to retain, showing them how to close, showing them how to do a proper sales presentation? Well, the risk is monetary. And I know a lot of agency guys that cannot get appointed with a carrier because they have these vectors, and these vectors are from roll-up debt. So, again, if you're watching this, I hope this helps you. It really helped me when I started my career. But I was lucky because the people that I started my career with, they weren't pushing recruit. And I'm really grateful that they did that because those first 2 years, it was my foundation as a final expense man, selling every single day. And I recommend the same to you. You can do it in 6 months. I'll give you an example. Gabriel Bowe. Gabriel Bowe did it within 3 months. He started with us as a Medicare agent, making $18 an hour at the beginning of the year. And he worked his ass off for 3 months in our virtual call center from working from Medellin, Colombia. And then after 3 months of showing up every day as an employee, he reaches out to me and tells me, hey, bro, I want to do commissions. And again, he went to work. The man applies himself. He shows up every day. He puts up the numbers. Doesn't talk about it. He does it. Well, if you see that kind of quality in a person, that they value the importance of selling, and they can manage it, then 6 months, unless you're a superstar and you can get it done in less. But don't sacrifice your own personal production to show somebody else that don't give a rat's ass, because at the end of the day, your time is worth money. So, with that said, I hope you guys have a great week. If you guys need any help with your closing, give me a call. I've been on the phone all last week, this week. My plan is to be on the phone, selling personally and training others. Reach out to me. I know yesterday I had a gentleman out of Southern California, Carlos. He was able to see me close the deal. And again, that's impact, because every other leader, all they talk about is mindset and, how to do it. But very rarely do you see somebody get on the phone and make it happen. I respect the man that does what he says he does. Peace.